Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome in everybody, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Buddhist Biohacker. Please subscribe, like, and comment because it keeps me going in the algorithms. My name is Lisa Gunshore, your mystic host and guide. And I was a little behind getting on here today. Sorry about that, but running over with clients and seeing all of your lovely faces one-on-one today has been just a fun way to kick off the week, coming off of the holiday weekend. We're coming off Memorial Day weekend. You can absolutely share your comments and ask questions here in the live comment box, so you can do that as well. We have the ability to show comments on stage, so if I turn that on, we can see them as well. So welcome in. So today we're talking about unlocking your DNA, and I'm really excited to dive into the genetic testing that I now offer each and every one of you in my functional Ayurveda wellness practice. So really excited to go over it. So here's what today is going to look like. We're going to go over the DNA test because I actually want to show you a sample report so that you understand what you are getting when you sign up for genetic testing with me. The new genetic test I have access to is amazing. And then I'm also going to talk a little bit about what I channeled from the Sacred Council back in 2019. It was actually the end of 2019 going into pre-COVID time, talking about the epigenetics and how to push past our DNA, because there's a real connection between our ancestry, our ancestral karma and patterns, and our genetics. And so that's what I'm going to be talking about. We want to heal one with the other. And so I'm going to share my screen. So let me just get in here. Share screen. Okay, here we go. Share. Hopefully everyone can see that. Okay, so we're going to get into the genetic report because I wanted to actually show you on video what this genetic report is all about. So 3x4 Genetics is the report that I am currently using, and I'm going to scroll up to kind of show you what you're going to get in this report. So you actually get your genetic results and the explanations of the pathways of the genes. So we're going to go through the pathways, and I want to talk through a little bit for those of you who are maybe not new to my channel, but you're new to the work that I do, just kind of explain a little bit about methylation and how I became an expert in that area. So in addition to being a multi-generational psychic medium, and I've been offering readings for clients publicly since 2006. So next year is 20 years, y'all. 20 years that I have been reading folks from all around the world. So that's pretty exciting. So anyways, in addition to that, I also went through a handful of health crises that I've written books about. My book, Enlightenment Pie, is a natural process for healing based on how I healed myself through those crises. And Cherry Pie is really the backstory, the context of everything I was going through. And it all partners together. So at the end of the day, there are metaphysical reasons for our physical state. Energy in motion is emotion. So just like we talked about on the show with Denise Maple, everything is emotional and there's a component to it. And for those of you who are connected with Louise Hay and her work, it is all connected. So if our back is hurting, our back, what does it do? It's supporting the body. The spine supports the body. Then we may be having issues feeling supported in our day-to-day life, which is causing the back pain. And inevitably, in my own direct experience in the last 20 years, when I looked at the emotional components behind my physical issues, I in turn would heal myself. And one of the things that I've discovered is that I have a genetic mutation called MTHFR, metatetrahydrofolate, and my body has difficulty methylating. And you can see here on their report, methylation is the biochemical process of making sure every cell is functioning optimally. This is how we detox. This is how we handle inflammation, how we respond to stress, and how our brain chemistry works. And so this report is absolutely going to tell us our methylation pathways and what we can expect, including our B vitamins. You can see here it says 5-MTHF. So MTHFR is the genetic mutation. 26% of the population has that. Also zinc, vitamins B2, B3, B6, B5, B12. Okay. This report is also going to tell us about our collagen and our joints. It's going to explain to us how we produce collagen, how that works with our soft tissues like skin, hair, nails, joints, and organs. The test looks at glucose and insulin. And it's going to tell us all of our gene results. And you can see here on the report, you're going to see your SNPs, SNPs. It's your genetic mutations, where your genes are having challenges. So that's what all of this reporting here is, okay? It's going to tell us all these different pathways in the system. And then it's going to give us an overview with images, which is really, really exciting. So it's going to tell us your methylation, which again, why is this important? Because our entire planet is covered in pesticides and microplastics and all these different toxic burdens, heavy metals. We need to know, or we want to know, how our body handles these toxins and if we need additional support to detox. So the book that I wrote, Enlightenment Pie, tells you how to detox naturally, because we want to start there. But once we understand our genetics, we can actually understand what other support, in addition to food, exercise, infrared sauna, but also supplementation to be able to support your body to detoxify. What happens when you don't methylate well, when your body has challenges methylating? This is when it can turn into autoimmune, thyroid disease, issues with fatigue, joint pain, swelling, plantar fasciitis, constant infections, ear infections, bronchial infections, being sick, being fatigued, not living in your vitality. So we are going to learn all about that in this report. We're also going to look at your systems and your cardiovascular, so your mood and behavior, your memory and brain health, histamine overload, hormone balance, glucose and insulin. These are all big pieces here that you're going to get in your report. We're going to talk about cardiovascular health too, blood clotting, cholesterol, your blood vessels themselves, and if you're experiencing dysregulation in your blood pressure. We're also going to look at bone health, collagen, and joints for those of you who are like me, who are starting perimenopause, or if you're in menopause or post-menopause. As a woman, you are going to struggle with bone health, bone density, your ability to manage your bones. So this report's going to tell us that information as well. This is the part I'm really excited about with this report. This is why I switched to this report. I actually used a different genetic brand beforehand. But it's going to tell us how we consume, absorb, distribute, store, and burn calories. And I don't know about all of you ladies out there, and men as well, but for those of us who have had constant fluctuations in our weight, and in our ability to process food and food allergies and so on, this is also going to be really good information for us. It's going to tell us about our appetite, our inflammation, how we store fat, how we use energy, and about our weight gain and our weight loss. So it actually gives you in photos how to train, how to manage endurance and power based on your genetics. And then it also gives you a nutrients overview. So vitamins, minerals, and compounds. It's going to tell you what you have challenges with here with food. So for example, choline, it says in this sample report, you have an increased requirement for choline. Choline comes from eggs. And it regulates your DNA health, your mood, energy production. I found out through the genetic testing that I don't produce phosphatidylcholine. And so it's really exciting to know that I can supplement with it. And I also make sure I keep eggs in my diet in order to have choline, which helps my liver, which also helps with detoxification. It's also going to talk about gluten, vitamin levels, salt levels, and then it's going to go through a glossary of everything on here as well. So this report is pretty incredible. It gives you a ton of really incredible information. And so what I'm offering, and then I'm going to dive in a little bit about why I'm offering this and what my background is in the genetic testing. But what I'm offering, I would like to get a group of us together to do the individual genetic tests and work together in my Transform Your Health program for the summer in preparation for going into the new year. So I just want to share my screen again. Let's see here. So I'm going to stop that screen share. Sorry, y'all. Okay, here we go. I'm like, I'm going to get there. Okay, so this is my website. And you can see at the top, there's like this little bar. It says enrollment is now open for the 90-day launch to Transform. And I've already had an incredible response to this. So thank you so much to those who are already joining in this experience. But I want to show you what this looks like. And for some reason, it's not showing that. So let me show you the other screen. Share screen. Here we go. So this is the Launch to Transform page, and you get that again by clicking that little announcement bar at the top of my website. But what you're going to get with this, so the biggest thing with this is you are going to receive it's 90 days of transformation. So you're going to receive 3 private 1-hour sessions with me. That's 1 hour with me once a month. And that time is going to be spent reviewing all of your genetic data, putting together a plan around the data, and following up on the support on that plan. And if there's any additional testing that you want to do. It also includes 3 group transformation circles. And what we're going to do, it's going to be 1 group meetup once a month. And this whole program is kicking off July 8th. You can join now. Registration's open. As soon as you join, I'm going to send you the script through my dispensary for the lab, because we want to get the labs in. You'll get a lab kit shipped to you. It's all through saliva. It's very easy. I've had several people already complete their testing. And then I'm going to present those tests to you in a binder and in a packet at the beginning of our sessions on July 8th, so that you already have your DNA, because my goal is that we're going to work for 90 days together from this genome analysis in partnership with your ancestral healing and your past lives in order to have a true transformational healing and long-term plan going into the fall and winter months. So you're going to have 3 private sessions with me. That's to go over your individual reporting and your own nutrition plan and put everything together. We're going to do an intake. We look at Ayurveda as well. We're going to have a group class also once a month for the 3 months starting in July. And in that group class, we're going to be talking about ancestral healing straight from my book, Enlightenment Pie. We're going to be talking about how to read your DNA test. And we're going to be going through how to hold yourself accountable and create your plan. In addition, I'm going to create a custom nutrition and wellness strategy based on your genome analysis. And that's going to be in a PDF document. We'll go through it in both the group and individually, but your custom plan is something that's included in this package. And then we're also going to work in between sessions. For those of you who work with me currently with readings or ancestral healing or Ayurveda health and wellness or nutrition or parasites, mold, whatever you're working with me on currently, you know that I send you integration notes a few days after your session. We'll continue to do that work in these 90 days. So you're going to be able to have access to text me when you need to, stay connected via email, via text, and also in these groups. And also I'm going to have some additional lifestyle support. So this is the package. It's $888 for the entire thing. This gives you all of the sessions with me, your custom nutrition. It's also going to give you 3 healing lab sessions. So for those of you who are local, what that means is you can actually come in and use the red light therapy room. You can come in and do acupressure. You can come in and connect with the healing lab. If you are remote, I'm going to have some healing lab options for you as well, including past life regression therapy and some ancestral healing and some other things that we can do, some meditation work. That's all going to be included. You also have access to my introduction to Ayurveda course. It's an online course. And when you sign up for the package, you'll immediately get that information as well. So it's all on here. 3-month cellular journey. It's designed. I'm going to try to keep it to a smaller group. I've already had several people sign up, so there's still room for you if you want to join in. Here's everything that's included. Again, private coaching, group healing lab sessions, and you just sign up online. I have 2 options. You can pay in full. You can also pay 3 payments of $296 for 3 months. I try to make everything as accessible as possible. This package includes everything with exception of the test. The test itself, and I'll close this off, the test itself is only $299, and you can use your HSA or FSA card. You can file a claim with your insurance also on the back end. So lots and lots of options. I'm trying to make this as accessible as possible. I do not charge as much money as a full functional doctor, and I do that on purpose, even though I am doing that same work. So there's all that. And I want to share with you really the why DNA, why ancestral healing, why all of these things. So I wrote an article, and I wonder to stay with me here, but I'm going to try to grab the magazine because I have it right here. So I occasionally write articles for Sacred Hoop magazine, and I wrote an article back in 2019 about DNA and your ancestral trauma. Let me pull it up because I actually have an even better article because I've edited things since then, and it's in my book Enlightenment Pie as well. Okay, so here it is. So this is the article I wrote. It's called Liberate Your Lineage, and it's about healing ancestral karma in partnership with epigenetics. Well, if I could talk. And I'm reading from this, I'm sorry. So fully aware from my amazing astrologer, Kate, who you all know, Kate Swick out of Las Vegas. She's amazing if you need an astrologer. But I know I get very complex. So I apologize today for my Neptunian energy and my complexity and my Plutonian transformative energy. But this is where we're at today. And I want to explain why I'm doing what I do. So our human body is made up with DNA. We all know that. And we also know that there's this belief of karma and past lives, and also this understanding shamanically that we bring patterns and karma through our lineage, through our ancestry, and that is locked in our DNA. So why do we want to heal all this? Because by honoring our ancestors, understanding the patterns and doing the shadow work on those patterns, we can heal ourselves, first of all, from those patterns. And those patterns can show up in the DNA. So one of the things I talk about in Enlightenment Pie is Candida linked to self-love. If you have a history of women down the line being in toxic, abusive relationships and having it put into their consciousness that they are not worthy or not good enough, that can actually come down the line genetically with an overgrowth of Candida and issues with Candida. Everything is linked. I've had parasites many times, fun times for me. Parasitic energy, right? It feeds on us. Parasites is about hosting other people's energy. It's about codependency. That can also come down the line of females, especially. It can be males as well. And within that codependency, it can show up in your genetics as an inability to methylate toxins, and you end up taking on and hosting other things, bacteria, parasites, yeast, fungus. So we want to understand our patterns, and then we want to heal our patterns. And that's what I talk about in here about having an altar for our family. We want to be able to heal our patterns. This is an age-old shamanic practice. And so in my article, I talked about this. Now, what's fascinating is the Sacred Council, which is the diplomatic council I channel from time to time, came out of nowhere in 2019 and said, you can now unlock your DNA. You are no longer bound to your karma. You are no longer bound to your ancestry, and you're no longer bound to your DNA. How do you do that? Well, you biohack. So here we go, guys. Buddhist biohacker. That's where this came from. And I never talk about it. So today I am. Where does Buddhist biohacker come from? Biohacking is the ability to hack your biology. Now, I don't really like that term anymore. I actually think it's much more in the divine feminine to say biotransformation. So you'll notice that I use that language in a lot of my content is biotransformation, because what we're really doing is we're transforming our biology. So I was told that I had tests for Hashimoto's, and I've completely cured it. I never owned the Hashimoto's, and I never really had it because I was able to cure it through detoxing from mold. I had parasites and 22 food allergies in 2011, and I completely cleaned my body of that through a natural process. It took me about a year to get completely healthy, but I did it, and I lost 100 pounds doing it. And since then, I've learned so much about my ancestry. I'm grateful to my mom, who's been doing tons of research on my ancestry. And I've learned about my ancestry. I've learned about the patterns and the behaviors, and I've also learned about the health issues. And so when I first did my own genome analysis in 2016, I was overcome with the incredible information I received about my body. And I've been able to supplement and eat and exercise and methylate by infrared sauna and red light therapy. It's why I have it in my healing lab. But I did all of that to heal my body. I don't take any medications. I don't have any issues. I still have some weight I'd like to get off. So I'm definitely working on that. And, I'm in a really healthy place, and my mind is clear and my body is working the way that it should. And a lot of that is because I learned how to support it. So what is the point of all of this? Well, the point is, for those of you who are struggling with your weight, for those of you who are struggling with your hormones, if you are feeling fatigued, if you just don't feel like you're vital, you don't feel like you're operating well, if you're having issues with your health that you can't get explanations about, if you're struggling with trying to figure out what's even wrong with you, especially if you have an autoimmune or an autoinflammatory where your immune system is not functioning properly, these genetic tests are for you. Also, it's for you if you want to reverse your age. I'm 46, and I think I look pretty good for 46, and I want to continue to reverse my age. And part of that is understanding your genome. So all of that said, the reason I'm offering this package the way that I am in a group is because I'd really like to use this as a baseline group of people that I can bring in. You're going to have your own individual genetic tests. You're going to work with me individually for July, August, and September. So for 3 months, you're going to have a nutrition plan. We're going to get you all set up with everything you need to support your body to be healthy and clear. And I'm also going to teach you how to do the ancestral clearing. I'm probably going to be channeling some information for everybody throughout this process and doing an ancestral alignment, looking at what your past lives are, your karma, all of those things. And as we look at all of those things and bring those all together, my intention is that when you are complete with these 90 days at the end of September and you go into October, that you're going into October with a plan for the next 6 months to heal yourself, to lose weight, and to come into a new space of health and healing. Really, really excited about that. So that is what I wanted to share today. There's so much more that I'm going to be sharing here on YouTube. I'm really excited to get in here and get in with all of you and get going. So if you have any questions or anything, you guys can put it in the comments. I'm happy to communicate that with you. We're going to be announcing our new OHO conference. I'm going to be back on with Julie on Sunday. We had an awesome talk with Swami. There's so much more on the horizon. So all of that said, I love each and every one of you. And if you have questions, let me know. And if you're interested in joining this group, all you have to do is go to BuddhistBiohacker.com and click on the announcement bar for the Transform Your Life in 90 Days and sign up. All right. Thanks all. Have a great day. Bye-bye.